Presidential Vacation, an Allegory by Gregory Everett Huffman. I was driving home from an appointment today when I spotted a billboard asking, "Have you lost faith in God?" And I can veritably say that no, I currently can't say that I have a shaken faith. I once had lost my faith in God, when I was around 17 to 19, when I still considered myself a Christian. However, I can no longer say I have a shaken or lost faith, but rather I realize the object I was bestowing my faith in wasn't at fault, because it was incapable of living up to what I expected from it. I'm not an atheist by choice, but rather I'm an atheist because God chose not to exist. An allegory even immediately came to mind. Imagine you hear a great president has just come into office in a new country. You hear he will provide you with very soon with social security benefits and guide this country in the direction it needs to go. You wait and you wait, but these things never materialize. You lose faith in him and you wonder why he seems to be so lackluster, but maybe he's just acting in a way that you can't comprehend. No one else has seen this president either. Pretend it's the time before TV and the internet and such. Some people tell you that the president doesn't even seem to be around, and that maybe someone made him up to provide order to the country. But you tell them that he isn't derelict in his duties and he will be a great president, and that this president is just acting in ways we can't understand yet because he sees more than we can. Though you are still shaken in your faith, you still feel that you have to believe in him, and that it is wrong to doubt this person of the utmost respect and authority. Maybe it is society that isn't living up to its end of the bargain. You decide to seek this president out to find the truth, and you come to the White House, assuming it's a similar place to America, and then you walk in the doors, because Secret Service is horrible here, and you go up to his desk and no one is there. A man walks up to you and claims to be the advisor to the president. You ask, "Where is the president?" And the advisor says, he is merely on vacation, but he'll be back, you will see." Then you ask the advisor when the last time he saw the president was. "I have not seen this president yet, but he sends me memos from his vacation spot which I must act on." I ask him how he knows that it is the president sending them, and how he knows the president even exists if he has never seen this person before. Well, the president left this fine code of laws here with his name on it, and these memos I am receiving seem to be in tune with these previous writings he has left behind. Alright, but where is the president now? Why isn't he here now for his people? Why does he just tell other supposedly advised people about what is right to enact as law? Why is he on vacation? He decided to leave because everyone lost faith in him. No! We lost faith in him because he stopped doing his duties, or rather we thought he had stopped doing his duties. Then I got here to his desk and realized we had no president in office. No, the president is here in the country. You just can't see him because he is on vacation. And how does that make it better? Either the president has justifiably broken our faith in him, or he has never existed in the first place, in which case there be no need to have faith in him, because one can't lose faith in something that isn't in a state of receiving it. But the president started this great country. How do you know? It says here in the Constitution of Laws. Sure, his name is stated, but we see not a face or know any of his characteristics. Do we even know what to look for to spot this person? How would we even know if we had walked past the president? Would the person greet us as a president? And suppose he did, would we not call this man a crazy person? Would we not send him to the loony bin? If the president didn't found this country, then whom did? I don't know. Maybe it was always here. Maybe some average Joe just wrote some vague laws down that he thought would be beneficial for this new society to follow if they didn't want to live in perpetual chaos. And maybe the reason it doesn't descend into chaos is because the people are more than capable than we imagine them capable of. Maybe man doesn't need as much hierarchy as he thought. Then sure, what about our social security benefits? I would love to get them, believe me, and if believing in the president got them for me, I would gladly put all of my faith into him. However, I'm afraid the president needs to actually exist for this to happen, or at least not off playing golf when he should be putting beneficial executive orders into effect. Have we not waited long enough for all these safety nets to take effect? And have we ever seen them brought about? Right, well of course we transfer all of those elderly people into a special home on the island, where they reap the benefits of having supported our great leader. And have you seen these people? Where is this island so that I may investigate it like I have investigated his presidential office? Well, to keep them safe, the president has been unwilling to disclose the location, but some say that if you listen at night, that you can sometimes hear them, and some even say that these people have come back to visit them. And what is the evidence for this? Faith, they say. So if I have faith that I will hear and see my grandfather, who has been transferred again, then I will? There is no guarantee, but it is possible. I see. Well, what if I attempt to join them right now and request leave to exit this country and join them on this island paradise? Can't do that, sir. You must wait for the time you are called up, otherwise you'll be punished perpetually on yet another separate island. Why can't I go now? Assuming you are a loyal believer in the president, if you ask the benefit right away, then all of his most loyal followers would immediately and voluntarily remove themselves from this country, and the president would have no one to provide their societal duties and services to. And if you don't have faith, then the president will punish you as well, good sir. What? Bugger fuck me. Wherever would you get such an idea? It says right here in this book. I don't make the rules. Ah, so it does. And why would the president make such a rule? Especially if he is going on vacation. What a tyrant to demand such a thing when he has done so little to earn it. If he simply came back to his office and we all saw him doing work, there would be none of this silly faith business in the first place, Mr. Advisor. And what does he presume to do to me if I don't follow his rules? Like I stated previously, there's a whole island devoted to punishment. Think Guantanamo Bay, but with lots of fire. Fire? Where does it even say that? And what wrong do I do to society by questioning the leadership and asking for improvement? I'm not so much criticizing the president for what he has done or what he's incapable of doing, but rather I just want to know he's at work. I just want to see that he's doing something. Anything. Can't he just show himself? Even if he's a tyrant, I might be compelled to fall at his feet, as long as I see those feet, so that I may know what spot of the ground to aim at and where to position my knees. I ask him not to punish me, but merely to show up in person to accept my apologies. I don't want an advisor, because the advisor could be lying. How do I even know if the president did appoint you or not? Who was there to witness it? For all I know, you have kidnapped the president, and that the president would be insulted had he known that I would fall for such a foolish ruse. Well, you will see the president when it comes time to be transported to the island to receive your social security benefits. Oh, will I? Then I can apologize in person then, and he will allow me to choose the finer of the two items, correct? Incorrect, good sir. By then it will be too late. What? Why should this be? Because you didn't have faith in him. But he's always on vacation. He's never doing his duty. Nonsense. In fact, just last week a friend of mine received a stimulus from him that helped him pay his rent. Oh, what a veritable miracle. He has a poor Department of Defense budget that allows terrorists to kill his citizens, but he manages to squeak out a few trivial payments to some guy who is too much of a spendthrift to budget correctly. And besides, aren't the so-called advisors to the president in charge of this? Well, they somewhat are, but under his guidance, and besides maybe if you niggardly fellows weren't so stingy, maybe you would give more tax money to the president. Oh, the president lacks funds, does he? He owns a whole country and can run these fabulous islands. Maybe he should cut the time he spends punishing people on this hellish island you speak of, and invest some of that money in military defense. Maybe if he provided some real protection to his citizens, he wouldn't have to spend so much on this prisoned island upkeep. The citizens have free will to do as he likes. Do as he likes? Excuse me, they have free will to do as they like. Sure, and I'm quite the libertarian myself, but don't you think that those who are completely innocent should be protected from having their rights infringed? I'm all for civil liberties, but don't you think that the president should watch out for those who don't want to be trampled on? The president works in mysterious ways, you know that. But what is with all this libertarian and civil liberties business? In the great Constitution it says that not only will he not tolerate unbelievers, but that he also won't tolerate homosexuality or drinking milk on Tuesday. Whoa, wait, milk? Tuesday? Tuesday was the day the president went on vacation, and you know that the president has designated all Tuesdays as an official holiday? Well, I work 7 days a week, so I don't believe in a day off. But Tuesday, huh? He might as well have designated the whole week or the whole year to relaxation, since it seems not only was Tuesday the day he took off, but every day after that as well. And why would he do this? Because he would be embarrassed to see someone who was a harder worker than him. Would his pride be injured? And why can't I drink milk? I think it had to do with safety or health or something, but it could just be a mysterious way. I see. And how long has the president been on vacation again? Doesn't he know we have refrigerators now? And if not, can't one of those designated advisors fix this law? In fact, haven't you guys altered his laws in the past even though they should be perfect? No, they were merely interpreted incorrectly. We just didn't know at the time. But you know for a fact that all of the human mistakes have been corrected now, huh? And why does the president not want homosexuality in his land? Who is to know his ways? But maybe it is also a health thing, or it could be that the lands used to be underpopulated, and that he valued reproduction so that his people would keep multiplying and growing in power. Well, if he would get back from vacation, maybe we would notice that we are now almost overpopulated. Do you think he might change his mind? I don't know. Well, can't you write a memo to him? Well, I suppose, but it might be rude. I'm sure he'll just write to... Well, I suppose, but it might be rude. I'm sure he'll just write to me if he needs anything adjusted, but usually when he writes to me, it is just to tell me that I need to just keep stifling those lawbreakers rather than grant clemency. Of course, but what about the free will of the citizen? Well, sure you have the free will to do something, but that doesn't mean you won't face the consequences of that decision. Oh, so it is sort of like a Hobson's choice? I can either do as he likes, or be punished as he likes? And if this is the case, then why doesn't he also punish the real evildoers in this way? Oh, he will, but not until the right time. Oh, so the court systems are all tied up. It could be 50 years before the serial killer is forced before a judge, and until then, he's presumed innocent, despite the blatant bloody red hands? And if he feels like punishing for everything, why doesn't he just look over us all 1984-like, and cut out the nonsense about free will? If he doesn't care about civil rights, then why is he such a proponent for free will? Or does he merely pretend to be a proponent, because it is out of his power to stop the will of the citizens when the answer to 1984 becomes 1776? Look, he has the NSA to spy over all his people, and he does have the drone to punish everyone right away, but... And why does it have to be punishment? Couldn't he encourage people to just be nicer to everyone? Couldn't he create institutions in which it is an important lesson that everyone be inculcated with the idea that it is more important to not infringe on each other's rights than it is to focus on this free will nonsense, especially when it can hardly be called free will in the first place? I almost feel like I am playing the devil's advocate since I am a fan of free will, but if he ultimately is going to punish us for it anyway, can't he just push the agenda of being happy without free will, than having it and being miserable? Look, God has a plan for everyone! A fucking plan, you say? Doesn't that contradict the whole free will business you were going on about? Is there a plan or is there free will? You don't have to choose the plan that God offers up. Oh, I don't? And don't even tell me the catch because I think I can guess the answer. If I don't accept his offer of my own free will, I have my free will stripped from me and thrown into one of his hellish islands. So it's kind of like putting an apple in a tree and then telling that man not to bite into it, isn't it? It's kind of like when a kid dangles a piece of meat in front of a dog, but the dog gets the blame for it when it was the kid being a dickbag. Our president is the immoral dickbag, but because he's so powerful, no one is capable of punishing him. I'm pretty sure the president decides on what is considered moral and what isn't. Oh, how convenient. And I suppose you get these ideas from his big book of laws. And doesn't it say in this book that a man is to be hanged until he dies if he drinks milk on a Tuesday, and that slavery is acceptable? Well, yes, but again, it was written a long time ago, and some of it isn't necessarily literal, and it is up to the courts to interpret it for a modern society. Oh, so you do believe the citizen is capable of moral thought, independent from the president? Otherwise, how else would you be able to interpret it to what you think is more morally acceptable? If you believe the president set forth an infallible law, you wouldn't make a single change. But yet, you do, don't you? You make apologies to the people who were harmed under a barbaric old presidential law, and now your inner moral compass has evolved and you can see the error of your ways, and dare I say, the president's ways. I think it is time you left this house of the President, sir. You clearly have lost your faith in the President, and cannot be persuaded to the contrary-wise. I'll leave, but I believe the definition for this place is incorrect. For if I claim something as my house, one would expect that I have at least set foot in the place. However, even so, if I were to go on a vacation for such an extended length of time, I think that house could be reclaimed as no longer mine. And the same goes for this country. This country doesn't belong to the President, but it belongs to the citizens. The President has not shown his face, and his advisers seem to be only doing harm. And I don't mean harm in the sense that the President's words are being twisted, but that actually following the Constitution the President has laid out is doing great harm to this society. The sciences have suffered, the people have suffered, and the President is too powerful to be held accountable. However, he has already left our great land, or at least he has gone on vacation and seemingly never to return. So while we may not be able to punish him exactly, we can at least stop praising his name. We can slowly forget about him. Have I lost my faith in the President? Once, but now my faith no longer shakes, and I now realize that there is no faith for the President to receive. He doesn't exist, or he is on a long vacation, and neither of these options speaks to his credit.